Hey, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis here on Monday. I took the day off of work so I could watch the total solar eclipse come through here, and it was really cool actually. You can see that it's pretty cloudy, but that actually worked out really well because it let us watch the eclipse with no special glasses on. You could see it just with your eyes or just regular sunglasses, and there's some really cool pictures that I got just using my iPhone. So the clouds actually worked out really well. Thank you, cloud makers. But that's not what I'm here to. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. Actually, I got back from Orlando yesterday. This past weekend was the American Orchid Society members meeting and show, and the International Phalaenopsis Alliance also had sort of a dual event kind of a deal. And so what I want to show you is some of the vendors, some of the judging that happened, some of the plants that were on display at Krull-Smith. So the whole thing was hosted by Frank Smith and Krull-Smith, who's the company, and it was absolutely amazing. It was really cool to meet a lot of folks that I've seen online and recognize their names over the years. And then it was also really cool to just see some plants and judge. I got to judge an FCC, which is, of course, a first-class certificate that is the highest quality award that a flower can receive, according to the American Orchid Society. So it was really cool to be able to do that. I'll show you that here in a second. There's also a members meeting on Thursday. I'm not going to show you that. The members meeting is sort of a report in a verbal format, where it took about an hour or two, and it's sort of what's happened within the American Orchid Society in the past 6 months to a year. So that was pretty cool. Frank Smith got a gold medal award for all the stuff that he does for the American Orchid Society. Like, you don't realize how much that guy has done for the AOS until you hear the sort of the accolades, and it was several minutes of them just listing all the amazing things he's done for the past 40 years. So it was a really cool meeting. I did get a couple plants. I got 4, and I'll actually show you those to you at the end of the video. I typically don't do a haul video, but I'll do a quick show and tell at the end. But anyway, here's the video. As I've done with other shows, I just sort of walk around filming things, and I'll do a voiceover. So let's get the camera turned around and check it out. All right, so right now I am driving from where I stayed in Lake Mary over to Apopka, and in between us was this huge state park, which is really cool, and that's what's there on the right. I was able to hike around a little bit, but that part of the state is just beautiful, as you can see. Then, of course, when we get to the actual Krull-Smith greenhouses, which, like I said, is where most of the activities and the events occurred, you can just see that there's these huge, massive greenhouses sort of all next to each other, and almost all are full of different types of orchids. And I'll show you the insides of those here in a second. And you can see that the parking lot was full. I had to park in the parking lot across the road because that parking lot was full. There was just so many people there. I kind of wonder if this is going to be a regular sort of festival event location, and maybe Frank Smith will give the folks down in Miami a pretty good run for their money as a really big, cool venue to host regular orchid events. I was really impressed by not only the quality of the plants and the vendors and just the venue itself. It was such a great place to have an event like this. And then so this was judging. You can see this is most of the tables. There were 11 tables of judges, and for those of you who don't know, that's an incredible number of judges. Even at the 2 Redland shows that I've been to and judged at, there weren't this many people. So I don't know if that's pretty standard fare for the AOS members meeting, but I thought it was really cool. So there's Most of the tables are there. My table is actually out underneath another awning, and just the plants that we got to look at were super cool. These are Phalaenopsis gigantea hybrids, and I don't know who got to look at those. I was kind of hoping that our table would judge some, but we didn't get a chance to, unfortunately. But you can just see how big these plants are, and absolutely beautiful flowers. Here's, again, another shot of the judges. There's Al looking at us, and a whole bunch of, there's Naoki in the background. And these are some more of the plants that were judged. I didn't get to look at these. These are Ancilea africana, and there's a whole bunch of Phalaenopsis. I did look at some of these. Yeah, I'll show you here in a sec, but just the quality of plants was really high. Most of the Phalaenopsis were either from Krull-Smith or from Bredren's orchids. And so as you can imagine, just great stuff, intense colors, really cool, lots of what were sort of called summer blooming or novelty Phalaenopsis, the sort of fragrant, ultra colorful types that you do not see at the grocery stores. These are the types of Phalaenopsis that I'm collecting. I think I judged that one actually, but again, I'll show you that here in a second. Plenty of slipper orchids, specifically Paphs and Phals, as you saw moments ago. My judging table was able to look at some of those, and these were the judges that I was with, and there's 3 tables in here. There was a butt front and center, but this is one of the ones that we gave an AM to. I wish I could remember the name. I wrote it down somewhere, but we did give that an award of merit, and this is the FCC, the first class certificate. This is Cattleya measuriziana, which is a primary hybrid between a Eclandii and a Walkeriana, and that is a flat, intensely colorful flower. It was tetraploid or polyploid at least. The leaves and the petals were just like hard plastic. It was really cool. This is the main sales area at Krull-Smith, and this is also the primary area where we had a lot of plants that were on display. And so this was an organized display, and pretty much all of these blooms, except for those white ones at the top there, but most of these got entered for judging, at least one of them. If there were groups of them, like you see those, the white Paphiopedilum delanatii, at least one of them made it over to the judging area. These Phragmipediums were definitely judged. I don't recall if they won any awards. I don't recall if the delanatii won any awards. You can see here's a little Walkeriana hybrid that's super cool looking, and I don't think this Phalaenopsis hybrid made it over to the judging table. That Schilleriana definitely did. The Eclandii wasn't open enough, so that was not judged or brought over. There's that FCC, Cattleya measuriziana, and Cattleya, you can see compared to my hand, just monstrous flowers. Those measuriziana flowers were bigger than the previous FCC that had been awarded to another plant. This was an absolutely stunning Cattleya. Just a really unusual color variety. I hope that was judged and awarded. It definitely deserved to be so. And then, the layering of the flowers, the sort of short ones down below and the tall Phragmipediums sort of overhanging everything was really well put together as a display full of award-winning flowers, and I mean that in every sense of the word. There were tons and tons of awards given to these blooms, and you can see the color on these just explodes off the flowers. Absolutely stunning. And this little bulbophyllum was cool. Cercanthum is not one that I am familiar with. It was the first time I'd ever heard of that or seen it. So it was really cool to get to see some stuff that is not common and is very unusual, both on the species front and the hybrid front. This is Phalaenopsis cornucervi. This is I believe it's called a Chocolate variety, that red variety, and it's become more common these days. And then finally here is one of those Cymbidiums, the hybrids that Krull-Smith grows, the warmth-tolerant hybrids, and then sort of overhanging those are the Phalaenopsis. And of course, as you can imagine, directly adjacent to the show table, or the display, I guess is a better way to say it, is all the stuff that's for sale. And that you can see in that blue shirt there is one of the Krull-Smith guys. I mean, those guys were running plants all day, all multiple days. You can see this is what it looks like at the end of the first day. Even though those guys are refilling these plant sales areas, they're just getting, the plants are getting snapped up pretty much as quickly as they're being put out there, and for good reason. There's just the quality of plants there is truly amazing. This was one of my favorites. This is a primary. If I had room for big Cattleyas, I would have snapped this up. In fact, I've been drooling over this one for a while. It's Dowiana by Purpurata. And the name escapes me, but it is a named hybrid and just really nice. And then, of course, there's the big floofy hybrids, which I'm not super excited about. That Ludemaniana there, that Cerulean is pretty nice. But the variety of plants offered was really top-notch. Coming back, and so this is a larger view of the sales area, so you can see it's just enormous. So over there is where the display table was, and then most of the sales are over there. And there's just this huge table of Ancellea africana, or Ancelia africana. I'm not entirely sure which is correct. Not sure that I say it correctly, but you know, this is a good way to see the different colors side by side. This is one of the newer, sort of redder varieties that you get to buy compared to the more standard varieties like this one. And as we're leaving the Ancellea, again, there's that dark red one. You can see some of the Cattleyas, and I think I ended up walking over to where the bulbophyllums are. Yep, here's the bulbophyllums. Lots of cool stuff. The first one that we look at is probably an Echinolabium hybrid, and then this next one here, this one is Romei, and I actually showed you a Romei that I've got maybe a month ago that was blooming. Very cool little thing. And then these are weird. I want to say this is Falcatum, but I could be wrong. But you have this weird red inflorescence and these little teeny tiny bulbophyllum flowers all along them, which creates a really interesting contrasting color display. And I didn't stick my nose in those. I usually do. I was kind of wondering if they were stinky, but I ended up not following up on that. But Krull-Smith bought most of Bill Tom's collection and has just been continuing the hybridization, and they're doing amazing stuff. As you can imagine, you can see the variety of different bulbos and different shapes and colors that Krull-Smith offers for sale. They also have some other oddballs like Orangus fastuosa here. I almost grabbed this, but I ended up spending my money over with Afri orchids instead, as we'll see here. At the end of the video, there's a little Ceterea or Phalaenopsis japonica, and then they do have some Catasetums. I went back the next day, and these Catasetums were full again, but I didn't buy any. There were definitely some really cool ones. And I do want to show a quick video of what the greenhouses look like, and you can see just how immaculate they are. They're just spotless, and there's so many plants. There's so much space for growing cool plants like this Guarianthe skinneri. I don't recall the clone, but it looks like Casaluna or any of these old school pink ones. This, of course, is one of the bristlebrush dendrobiums. I can't remember the exact species name. Some complex Cattleya hybrid, and here's a Myrmecophilia or Schomburgkia hybrid of some sort, showing those classic twisted sepals and petals. And finally, there was a whole bunch of lectures from people, including Julian Baruch. This was Carol Klanowski filling in. This was Francisco Miranda. And then Julian again talking about judging, and George Velasquez here at the end was really good. All right, and so these are the orchids that I got while I was there. My goal was to get actually one orchid that I could hang on the back. I ended up getting two. I say the back of my orchid cabinet inside. And then I wanted to get one Phalaenopsis that would stay small enough to stay in that cabinet. And I ended up getting two. So let's start with the phals. So I got this, I got both of these from Blue Ridge Orchids. And Mike Mims is the grower and breeder. I don't know that he did this particular cross since it's Mituo Princess by Main Show Magic, which are two Taiwanese firms, but Mike is just one of the nicest guys ever. I got to meet him about a year ago at a Phalaenopsis workshop in Dallas, and I was really impressed with not only him as a human being and just his plants. I mean, like, these are just beautiful plants. He said he repotted this, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you could see that the care that they get is such that they're already making massive roots in here in a couple of weeks. So this is the kind of stuff that you really want to get. And then I also got this. This is Phalaenopsis Sumatrana, yeah. And so I'll repot this here after this video, but it's in bud. Mike said this is a species that he is really unable to grow. So for him, this is what a poorly grown plant looks like. And I gotta say, this is pretty darn nice. So I got this from him. He said he thinks that he has trouble with them because he overwaters them. So he recommends maybe repotting this into something with a little that dries a little more quickly, a little chunkier media than just sphagnum. So I'll get this potted up here in a second. And the other ones are from Afri Orchids. Actually, let me start with this one. I want to continue with the Angricums that I can hang in the back of my orchid cabinet. And so this is Mysticidium brabeni. And you can see it's just this mass of roots attached to this little piece of cork. And of course, Lawrence Grobler is the owner of Afri Orchids, and it was great to talk to him again. I last chatted with him at the Redland show down there in Miami a couple of years ago, I think, and he remembered me. So it was good to catch up and chat and buy some more of his orchids. And if you get a chance, check these out online. They have just such cool, just amazing spray of flowers that comes out. So, and then this is Orangus punctata, also from Afri Orchids. And they have, most of the Orangus are these very white flowers, but these have kind of an orange tint to them. And check out these roots. They're so bizarre. They're super flat. It's almost like the roots got squished onto the media here. You can see, rather than normal round roots like we're all familiar with, these have a very strange pattern on them, and they're super flat. And then to get sort of an orangish cast Orangus is really cool. So yeah, I'm really happy with both of these. Actually, all four of these, just outstanding plants from two really great growers. So I'm excited to show these to you here soon. And of course, this one, the Sumatrana, the buds are cracking here. So when I post this, when you're watching this video on Saturday, I'll make another video on that same day showing this. And then I have that Cattleya walkeriana Kenny that is in full bloom right now. So I'll make another bloom video showing some really cool flowers. But anyway, I hope you all are having a great evening or a great weekend. And I'm going to leave you here with a little bit of music I captured in Orlando. See ya.